Hello, everybody, and welcome back to In the Meadow with Kiki. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy you're here, and welcome to another episode. Welcome to season 3, actually. Welcome to season 3 of In the Meadow with Kiki. It's been a minute. I've missed you guys. I am so sorry for my unexpected little hiatus from the show. And from my socials and all that. It was unplanned. If I had a plan for this break and for the end of season 2, I would have sent a little goodbye video. But the truth is that life just got fast, and it has been an absolute roller coaster the last couple months. I officially took the break starting, I think it was the week of Thanksgiving. I know the last episode before this one was the one with Maxime in the Meadow in Los Angeles. But yeah, life has just been an absolute roller coaster. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here with me and patient and that we're back. I genuinely cannot express enough how much I've missed this shit. I feel like a part of me has been gone. It literally feels like a part of me has been missing since I've taken a break. I didn't realize how crucial this time and this connection is for my mental health and for my processing and getting all of my thoughts out on paper and getting to have conversations with you guys about all of this magical, juicy work. It's been really weird, and you know how big momentum is. I talk about it all the time, but I swear to God that momentum is like, it's absolutely everything that's going to take you to where you want to go in life. And it's safe to take breaks. It is so safe to take time off, to rest, to recover, to take moments for yourself in order to come back to your work more embodied and more full and more energized. But you gotta have a plan, because it's so easy to just roll down the hill of negative momentum where suddenly you look around and you're just like, well, fuck, I'm not doing anything. Because it's like, when you're not in the thick of it, when you're on the momentum, you don't have like that rhythm and routine of showing the fuck up. It's just so easy for it to just melt away, and it's kind of hard to get back on that horse. But here I am, back on that horse. So many life updates. Oh my gosh, I have so many notes in this little notebook right now. I'm gonna try to get through all of it. I actually recorded this for the first time a couple days ago, and I decided to re-record it because I am in a new space. This is the first time recording in my new apartment in Echo Park in Los Angeles. My dream home, my dream space. Not to get too carried away, but I just have to make a note that I am literally living in my fucking dream boards. And it took me, honestly, like prepping for this podcast, it took me that moment of reflection and sitting down with my life and my reality, and to realize that I am. Life's just been moving so fast. It's like one after another thing just kept happening and moving, and suddenly I look around myself and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm here. I'm in it. I'm literally in it. So I'll get 2 more on that in a second. But the reality is that this is a new space, and I was planning on recording a podcast episode, or the season 3 premiere, with all of my announcements and all that a couple days ago, but the sun was coming in at the perfect time, and I was like, fuck, let's just go. I'm gonna record. I'm gonna grab my laptop, grab my camera, and I'm just gonna record. And it was such a frenzy. I feel like I was so scattered and not prepared, and I was like chasing the light, and it kept changing. And so right now I am using lighting. I'm like closing the blinds down and trying to control the light as much as possible, which I think is going to be a big theme this season inside. It's going to give me a lot more flexibility and freedom to kind of record whenever I want to, versus like this last season has been a lot of, it's been hard to plan around when I want to record, just because lighting is so important. But now I'm kind of looking at this as like a little studio moment. And so that's going to give me a lot more control and ease of like, hey, it could be 11 p.m. and I can still record, which is going to be massive for me. So yeah, lots of new changes, lots of shifts. I have here my massive tea, as big as my head, so it can last me throughout this whole chat. It's really cold in LA right now. It's really rainy. There's about to be a storm, one of the biggest storms of the year apparently, this Thursday to Friday. So when you're hearing this, it's probably going to be raining in Los Angeles, which we desperately need. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get more into this episode. Number one, I need to announce the most exciting parts, which is Unlock Your Dream Reality, my signature mini course to step into your next level dream reality, all through the power of the subconscious mind, is officially open for enrollment, bitch. It's open. It's available. You can get in the link below. I'm going to leave a discount for the next 2 weeks for early bird pricing for whoever wants to get in now before the prices go up in 2 weeks from now. But yeah, she's out. She's fucking here. And not only that, but she is on my platform, the mother brand, my new business, The Meadow is the Portal LLC at themeadowisaportal.com, which is going to be the mother brand of all things Meadow. It's been a labor of love. It's been what I've been working on for the past 9 months of my life. And it's fucking here. It's here to see the light of day. And I cannot wait for you guys to dive in to the website. I've been working on it so dearly, was pouring so much love into it, and I recommend, if you are curious, check it out. If you want to look at it on a laptop, I feel like that's going to be the most fully expressed version of my website. And yeah, it's all through the portal of the Meadow. It's everything I've been talking about these last years of what the symbolism and the meaning of the Meadow is, specifically being the portal. You know, the meadow is the portal, the yin and yang, between the meadow being the more earthly, the physical, the presence in this now reality, the physical products, the events, all of that. Dancing, being in your body, in the grounded, earthly, 3D physical. And the portal, the meadow is the portal. You know, for example, my Meadow Blankets, which I'm sitting on right now, sublime. If you're on podcast, audio form, yeah, don't forget that I have everything on video too, if you're ever curious about where I am in my settings. But yeah, the whole symbolism is that you put down your meadow blanket in the earth and it transcends you. It portals you into the portal, which is where the metaphysical, the magical, the mystical, the more airy and cosmic magic, that is where all of the reality creation is done. Setting intentions, meditating, projecting into the reality that you want to be in. And so the Meadow is the portal, baby. The website is really reflective of that yin and yang. It's split down the middle. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but you should check it out because it's a little art piece in itself. And yeah, I've been working on it for so long, and I cannot wait for you guys to all dive in and look at it. And so you can see Unlock Your Dream Reality. It's going to be hosted under the portal. So when you go click on the portal, you'll see the podcast, my playlists, the freebies, all the free offerings that I have. And the bottom one is Unlock Your Dream Reality. So you can log in to your account, your portal, and enroll in the course. If you have any questions from me, if you want to reach out on Instagram to chat more about if you think this might be right for you, please feel free. I'm just so fucking thrilled to announce that. It's been such a journey, and I think I'm going to talk a lot about that today. But before I get into the journey of what it's taken to get to this point, just a couple more life updates. So yeah, I'm here. I'm in Echo Park. I'm in Los Angeles. It's such a fucking beautiful example of how it gets to be better than we can even imagine, and it gets to be better than we even ask for. Before I moved to LA, I had been working towards this for, the last year and a half. And I remember having this limiting belief around Echo Park and Silver Lake being just a harder place to move to, where, harder to have in washer dryer unit, more expensive, just more difficult. And so I had my heart set on these towns more east, north, like Highland Park, South Pasadena. And my partner's job ended up being more towards the west side, and we still love this part of town so much. And so this ended up being that perfect place for us. And so another example of just I didn't even fully let myself dream to how perfect this place is and how much we flowed to this moment and how quickly it happened. I feel like this last year was I went through a lot of difficulty just not knowing how I was going to get to where I wanted to go, and feeling really stuck in moving forward, and feeling all this weight and pressure of pressure on like what I needed to do and accomplish in order to get to where I wanted to go. And I remember being at the property in Fallbrook in San Diego, where I've been recording all of these episodes from for the last couple years. And suddenly my partner got a job interview that we thought was going to start probably the new year. This was like October of 2024. And so, we were like, okay, like, there's some things are moving. Like, the move to LA is looking more possible. And then he went in for his like third interview, and they wanted to have a couple days on set. He works in live broadcasting. And then the moment that he was going to lunch or something, his boss like called him in and was like, hey, so can you start on Monday? And so overnight, within one day, our fucking lives flipped upside down in a matter of moments, because we thought we were going to be in San Diego for a couple months already, getting ready to move to LA, slowly looking at places. But no, bitch, the universe was like, it's go time. So he was working in LA, staying at his mom's house for a little bit while we were like finding our first spot. And then December rolled around, and it was officially, we both moved to LA. And we were staying at 2 different sublets for December and for January. We left our second sublet December 31st, and then it was New Year's. This is all, by the way, like when I was not meaning to take a break from the podcast, but I just kept having to take a break because it was just one thing after another. And then the fires in Los Angeles. January was such a heavy and tragic month. And so, all of that is to say, it's been a minute, but I'm back, baby. And I think that, I caught myself during the month of January feeling a lot of heavy energy and a lot of existential, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, who am I to show up on here and talk about my little manifestations on my podcast when so much of the world is suffering, and politics and all of this shit. And I think that the biggest lesson that January taught me was that the world needs our light more than ever. And to spread our light, to speak our light, to spread love and ourselves and our authenticity. And that is one of the most important things that we can do right now. And so I'm fucking back, baby. And Unlock Your Dream Reality is open for enrollment. I decided to release the pressure on having this insane launch happen for it. I'm in the midst of so much right now. And so I'm just announcing it to be open today on the premiere of season 3 of the podcast. So go check it out. Go look at the page where you can read all about it on my website. And so excited to be here with you guys. Thank you for being patient with my rambles. I'm trying to like get this podcast going, and there's so many different tangents. But one thing I will start on, I think, is just to express a little bit about the journey that I've been on with the Meadow and the different iterations of it, and kind of how I ended up where I am today, and how Unlock Your Dream Reality put me here. And it gave me the tools and the resources, not only to get to where I wanted to go a year ago, but I've been able to come back to it. And it's allowed me to set this new platform up for myself to step into this next level of my life, with where I'm at in my business, in such an embodied and aligned and confident way. And 'cause it's not easy, it's a journey. And so let's get into the story of the Meadow. So I began this journey around 2020 during the pandemic, when I moved to the property in Fallbrook, and I had all this spaciousness and time to discover and to start tapping into my intuition for the first time that felt like years. And it all began with an affirmation that I created, a little music song affirmation called my Magnetic Morning Ritual that I've been talking to you guys about like forever. If you've heard any of my episodes, you've probably heard me telling you guys to go download my free upload of that mantra that helped me discover what I wanted to do, and that kind of birthed what the Meadow was. Because at that point, I didn't know if I wanted to be a YouTuber, an artist. Like, I knew that I wanted to tell stories, but I didn't get how that was going to happen. It's like, I think the whole YouTube route was creatively fulfilling, but it needed more substance. It needed more of a why as to why I was sharing this work, why I was sharing this content, or like my life in the olive orchards, or my life in nature. And so it felt so far away. And from listening to that mantra, the affirmation, a couple months went by, and then boom, the Meadow came to me. The philosophy of the Meadow, the symbolism of the Meadow Blankets that I wanted to sell. And so it all began kind of just like as a lifestyle page, kind of helping people to tap into their intuition and to be in nature and to listen to their hearts and start listening to the whispers of their own intuition to guide them to the life of their dreams. And so it all really began as just like that lifestyle inspirational page of connecting to nature and your heart and your intuition, right? I sold my Meadow Blankets, and then the more I kind of went down that path, I realized that there was a whole world of online education and online resources and courses and programs. I started pouring myself into my favorite programs of my teachers, and I was obsessed. I was obsessed with downloading programs and courses and connecting to these amazing teachers and listening to their wisdom and learning and seeing these results. And from there, that made me want to do it myself. So there's a really big shift between 2023, which was when I launched In the Meadow with Kiki, my podcast, as well as The Meadow. I think I launched The Meadow in May of 2023, and then in 2024 is when I launched my podcast. I was working with my coach, Kristen, at the time, who's a best friend of mine. She's such a cool girl, and I love her to death, and I am hopefully going to have her back as my coach sometime soon. But she's really what helped me push myself into launching the podcast and having structure and discipline and routine and my non-negotiables. And I was really in a good place with consistently uploading, always pushing out my work and having my newsletter every week. And it was going great. And then it was January of 2024 where I decided to go all in on the digital courses and digital products realm. I joined an incredible mastermind. I was in a container of powerful women who were all building digital products, and that is where Unlock Your Dream Reality came. I spent like the first 5 months of the year building out this program, which means so much to me. And that was officially, the launch date of that was officially 9 months ago. And I kind of want to dig into why it's taken me so long to relaunch that, okay? So hopefully you guys are following along. I just think it's really special to hear the journey of my favorite entrepreneurs and my favorite creators, like brands and businesses. And so I just wanted to give you guys a little lowdown of what the story has been and what I've been going through the last 9 months since I originally launched Unlock Your Dream Reality. So the biggest lesson that I learned from launching Unlock Your Dream Reality was I realized that I got caught up in talking about my offerings and talking about my program in the same way that everybody else was. And it didn't feel right to me. It felt very unaligned. I felt like it didn't feel like I was myself. I was like pitching it like a car salesman. It felt like just giving off like the big pointers and like what you need. And it felt wrong. And I really struggled with that because it was always this balance of like, I should be talking about it like this. I should be launching my newsletters like this and my funnels and my email marketing funnels and all that stuff, where I felt like it was what I had to do, like it's what I was supposed to do, but it didn't feel good in my heart. It didn't feel good in my soul. I really scared myself away from the whole digital product thing because that was a time where I was just working in my office for months at a time, just staring at my screen, talking to the void is what it felt like, I felt like I'm a generator in human design, and I really, 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 really appreciate having like energy to bounce off of, like to having conversations of people in front of me that I can talk to and hear back from, and then, continue conversations that way. But where I was at that moment, I kind of just, I felt like I was just talking to a wall. And when I first launched and had that launch, I opened the door for only 2 weeks, I think. And I had a good amount of sales. I had a great first cohort come in. The people who were a part of it received such transformation and only had incredible things to say about it. Like I had everything to prove to me that this was working and that I needed to do it again and continue. The plan at that point was to reopen it a little bit later and just have it available all the time versus having these live launches. For anyone who doesn't know, there's there's evergreen launches, which means they're available at all times. And then there's live launches, which means it's like they're only available for a certain time. And you want to have live launches because it helps with drive traffic towards your offerings. Because if there's only a small amount of time that you can have access to it, it helps people join it. But this is all of another example of it got so technical and so much pressure was put on me to do it the right way that I am now looking in retrospect that I just kind of ran away from it. It's been 9 months and I have not opened it up again until today. But I'm realizing that there was this pattern that I thought that I had healed. I thought that I had healed this pattern of starting projects, pouring myself into them, dedicating my life to these projects, and then letting them fizzle away and moving on to something else. So this was a pattern that I thought that I had figured out. Okay, like I thought that I had gotten this down, that like I was working towards my dreams and really pushing through the resistance, and I didn't realize that I was doing it all over again with Unlock Your Dream Reality, because I think that I got so scared at that experience of not feeling in alignment with how I was talking about my offerings that I just ran away from it, and I pushed full force into the other branch of my business, which is the physical products again, which is all so exciting. It's all good things, but it's just been a long lesson of this year, realizing what was that deeper inner, motivation to let this course sit without seeing the light of day for the last 9 months. And so that was summer of 2024. And it is when I announced my clothing line, which is going to be under the Meadow is the Portal, which I'll have a couple updates about that very soon. And so it went overnight. All my energy was being poured into the course. And then the next day, after I finished the launch, I went a million miles ahead, full force into the clothing line. And I think I poured my entire heart and soul into that for 4 months after that, into the fall. And I was just spinning my wheels and hitting wall against wall against wall against brick fucking wall, realizing, having some harsh realities and harsh truths coming in of like what the reality is of launching a larger scale clothing line and the investments that would have meant. And I caught myself again kind of focusing on this future vision that allowed me to not show up with what I had in that moment, right? Like I had this incredible course, I had this incredible community, an amazing podcast right in front of me, right in front of my eyes, under my nose. And I think it was all too much for my subconscious to handle, where I ended up wanting to just run away to that next future big picture vision where, the more I could just continuously plan, the safer I felt, and I wanted to go right. I wanted to get right into it. I wanted to, have my first launch in the fall. But I burnt out so quick when I realized that like, this is the time to start small and to start boutique and to not have this pressure of having this massive launch, before I've even fully built a community for it yet. And so that kind of sent me into a dark place in the fall of last year, because I felt like I had run away from the course. I didn't have anything to show for the clothing line, and I felt like I was just in this limbo, and I felt like back to those imposter syndromes and those like negative self-talk of like, well, who am I to be showing up here on the podcast teaching people how to do it when I'm struggling with it right now, And so fast forward to today. I'm so excited to announce that the course is out, and not only that, but I have my first line of Meadow products launching in March, literally next month. It's been such a labor of love, and I've finally come back to the place where I get to do both. There's so much that I have to offer and that I have in the works for you guys right now that I'm releasing the pressure, all right? I'm doing the launches my way. I'm making them available to the public, because at the end of the day, the values that I have and the priorities I have and the reason that I started this whole thing in the first place was because I wanted to sit down and connect with like-minded people to talk about the energetics of life in the universe and the cosmos and manifestation and energetics and magic. And I want to have conversations, not just with me and you, but with my guests on the show. I want to have events where I get to bring people together. I want to create art for my products. I want to create poetry and magic through cinema and through music and through literature and through art. And that's why I started this whole thing. I didn't start this to stare at my inbox and my marketing funnels for 5 months straight. Now I know there's a balance. I know that there's going to be, learning curves, and I'm going to have more help and people on my team in the future where I can have more quote unquote proper launches. But truly, I'm just getting out of my own fucking way and I'm doing the damn thing. Because, you know, as end of January was coming around, I caught myself again like, what's going on, Kiki? Like, move, you gotta get going. And I am so excited to announce that my launch party for the Meadow as a Portal is going to be happening mid-March. I have yet to confirm the dates yet, but yeah, that fucking energy of like, all right, it's going. We have our location. I have my products. I have my course. Like, what the fuck are you waiting for? So it's here, and I really wanted to tell this story to you guys, just for you guys to get a better idea of the reality of what it is to be a multi-passionate and a creative who has all of these fucking dreams, and I want to accomplish all of them, and you can. It's just a matter of priority and patience and trust and allowing some things to sit in the vortex, and that it's safe to allow some things to simmer and marinate in the vortex. The vortex being, you know, the realm of your dreams, because I think that, you know, I have a habit of intuitively seeing the future and like seeing the next 10-year plan of my business and my dreams and really impatiently wanting to squeeze all of it into the next 6 months. And please take it from me, a lesson in this journey has been, it's okay that things take a little bit longer. And it's okay that we're not meant to squeeze the next 10 months, the next 10 years into the next 6 months. And that it's safe to let things simmer until you're ready to fully sink your teeth in them. And as always, there's contradictions to it, there's nuances, because you have to be so fucking honest with yourself and real with yourself and aware with yourself and your consciousness to know when you're making a wise decision on letting something simmer and letting something stay while you work on the things that you can take action on right now, and recognize when you're just procrastinating and you're pushing things to the future and self-sabotaging. And so I think that it's really important to just get to know yourself so much more and to know intuitively when you're self-sabotaging, when you're letting yourself down, and to know when you're allowed to take breaks and you're allowed to let things move more slowly than you were maybe initially envisioning, right? I always, I love to think about that valley of despair when it comes to that graph that I talked about a couple episodes ago, of what it means to make progress and find success when you're chasing your dreams, right? And when you first start out, you have such optimism, you have such uninformed optimism where you have this dream, right? You have your Pinterest board, you have a project, and you're like, let's fucking go. And you are all hyped. You're just in the dreaming phase of, oh my God, the dreaming phase is just so delicious. It's so like easy and chill, and it's just infinite possibility. And you get to look at all the photos and aesthetics and like examples of logos and brands and fonts and whatnot. And then you get to the point where you get informed pessimism, where you start realizing it's like kind of like the reality shock of like, fuck, like, ooh, this looks a little harder than I thought it was going to be. And then you get to the valley of despair where you are struggling. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Things aren't going well for you. It's not going the way that you envisioned, and it's getting really difficult, and it's getting hard, and it's getting real easy and really alluring to walk away. Most people walk away and they start back to square one. But when you push through that valley of despair, then the graph starts rising up again, and then you get into informed optimism where you're like, okay, I learned my lessons. I learned that this is not the way to do it, but maybe this is the way to do it. And now I can move forward to my inevitable success. When you blast through that and you have that consistency and that conviction and that trust and that patience and that grit that just keeps you moving, you get there. You get to that success, but you're never going to get there if you let the valley of despair hold you back. So I think that, I just wanted to share you guys my little personal story about what has led me to where I am today. And now I have my beautiful website. My course is available. I'm going to have my launch party next month. Speaking of, if you live in Los Angeles or in Southern California and you want to come, feel free to message me on Instagram or email me at hello@kikismeadow.com. And I'll talk about coordinating that for you. I have Not locked in the official launch date yet, but it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so exciting. I'm collaborating with a good friend of mine with her brand, and a lot more details will be coming soon with that. But yeah, all this is to say that Unlock Your Dream Reality is what got me to where I am today. And it's what got me back to relaunch it, to get to where I am in my business, in the plans that I have, and the life that I'm living. I think that we so often just are so mean to ourselves as to why things aren't happening. You know, it's like, honestly, take a moment, like ask yourself right now, it's February, you know, I still consider this to be New Year energy. January is always a slower month. It always takes a bit longer to get into the rhythm, into the swing of things. You know, it's a good time to revisit our resolutions, the things that we want to do, or the goals that we want to set for this year. But I want you to ask yourself, like, what is stopping me from actually making progress towards the dream or the project or the life that I want to live? You know, the excuses that your brain, your ego is going to try to tell you is that you're lazy, you're unmotivated, you aren't productive, you're not organized. There's so many excuses that our mind makes up to convince us of this or the other. But I'm here to tell you that there's something deeper down in your subconscious that's holding you back. Because the truth is, what's actually keeping you from making progress is a pile of beliefs that are not in alignment with the life that you want to live. If there is a misalignment between what you consciously desire, what you say you want, and what you subconsciously believe that you are capable of and that you are worthy of and that you are the kind of person that can achieve, if those two are not in alignment, it's not going to happen for you. If you deep down don't believe it's going to happen, why the fuck would you be making progress towards it? If you have the majority energy of fear sitting within that belief system, within that idea in your mind of the dream or the project, your conscious mind is not going to be taking action and not making progress towards it. And if it is, I wonder what kind of energy it's going to be in. I bet you it's going to be in really scared, tense, scarcity, and fear energy. Because I was living in it. I was living in that last year. I was so afraid of what the future of the Meadow was going to look like and my abilities around it and what was possible, that when I was showing up to take action around the projects that I'm working on, that I've completed now, a lot of the times I caught myself in this energy of like fear. Like I was running from something. Like I was running to and running from this fear of what would happen if I didn't succeed. Where now where I'm at in my life, after some deep, deep inner work and some deep rebirths and deep heaviness that I had to really excavate myself out of, I'm now taking action through such an incredibly lighter energy of creativity and curiosity and excitement and just magic where I'm showing up because I'm in love with it. I'm in love with this process. I'm not creating these products and this brand because I want to get somewhere that's a finale. I'm creating it because the act of creating these products and the branding and the physical aspects of these in the course, in this podcast, is because it lights my soul on fire. That's why I started this all in the first place. I didn't start this just to get to this idea of a business, you know? It's like I started it because I wanted to pour my heart into something. I wanted to sink my teeth into a devotion for my life. I wanted to help people. I want to help people. I want to guide people. I want to share all the wisdom that I've been collecting as a little investigator my whole life. I'm so in love with this work. I'm so in love with literature and art and music and branding and education. And here I am pouring all of myself into all of it. And it's a cycle that we have to revisit again and again and again and again. Every single day, we have to get ourselves into alignment and to check our energy and our why and our intention. You have to check our presence. Notice when you are, falling back into that scarcity, negative, heavy energy, that fear energy, that worry energy. Fear is the darkest, evil, heavy energy that we can tap into, and it's all about that conscious awareness and redirection. Oh my gosh, yeah, this course. I'm just briefly talking about little concepts that I have in this course, but it's just getting me so excited. I cannot wait for you guys to experience this course, because truly it's all about that. It's all about setting yourself up for success in your day to day. It's the education behind how our subconscious works, why it works, what about our subconscious is fueling our reality. And most importantly, it really guides you on how to set your conscious awareness for that redirection and realignment every single day. And how building the life of our dreams isn't just the hustle and the action and the creation of it, but building the life of our dreams is learning how to fall in love with the now as it is right here, as we are in the pursuit of our dreams, as we are creating the life that we want to live. It's not that we're doing it for this end goal, but rather it's a shift in frequency and a shift in vibration and a shift in perspective that opens up your eyes into the beauty that's in front of us, that's in front of you right now, every single day. And that we have a feedback loop that is running our life, and that we have conscious choice into how we want to redirect that. Right now, you are taking your conscious choice to listen to this podcast here right now. And that's huge. Not everybody, even has that conscious awareness and that decision making to listen to something that's going to grow you and that's going to uplift you and that's going to inspire you. I'm so honored to get to sit with you guys today and to share this magical, magical program with you guys. And like I said, if you guys want to chat more about it, if you want to talk more about to see if that might work for you, if it might be a good fit for you at your time in your life with what you're wanting to call in and create, I'm always available to chat. It's going to be available at the early bird discount for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, it'll be available for full price. So if you are interested in getting it in now while it's at a better price. But yeah, I'm so grateful. But yeah, going back to the lessons that I've learned, it is such a shift with how quickly your life can change before the external even changes. Like, yeah, right now I'm a living proof of what happens when the external changes. Like, literally, I'm living in my dream boards. I mean, I'm looking around myself right now, and the hardwood floors, the walls, the paint, like this apartment, the lighting that comes into this apartment, the trees I have in front of this apartment, the greenery covering me. Like, I created my own little personal affirmation music song similar to the Magnetic Morning Ritual, but like a personalized one specifically for me. I made that like a year ago, and I've been listening to it every day, every morning. And a couple weeks ago, as I was settling into this apartment, I was listening to it and I just started crying. I just sat there and I looked around myself, and I'm like, everything that I spoke into existence, I'm in front of it. Like, I'm in it. I'm right fucking here. And it took me a while to be aware of it even. Like, it's just, life happens so fast, and then we get to our manifestation. Sometimes we don't even realize we're there. We're like, holy shit, like, life happens so slowly, and life happens so, like, bit by bit, moment by moment, that you really do gotta, like, sit yourself down and look around and be like, okay, this was something I dreamed about. This was something I dreamed about. Like, look at your dream boards, period. Like, you can pick out moments of like, oh my God, like, I didn't even realize I'm living in it, because life is so gradual and we're constantly spiraling upwards, as I talk about my course, like, we are always in the upward spiral of expansion. And it's that balance of constantly looking around yourself and making time and space to be grateful and aware and present for everything that you've already called in. And in the same breath, being able to continuously expand upwards in that spiral, We are meant to expand. We are creatures of expansion. Look at humanity. I mean, like, look at how human beings work, right? It's like, we're meant to expand. Like, that's kind of why we have this difficulty of feeling content with what we have, because there's always more. There's always the next level. There's always more income. There's always the next thing that we want to have in our life, right? And part of that is good, because it's what continuously pushes us forward. Like, we don't want to settle. Even though I'm living in my dream right now, my dream doesn't stop here. The visions that I have for my life is going to continuously expand and grow and build upon this, because I have a big fucking vision for my life. But that doesn't mean that I can't look around myself and be like, oh my God, like, whew, look at this. Like, shit, like pinching myself of like, oh my God, I'm living proof of this. But it took me a second to get to this moment, because when I first moved to LA, there was still a lot of heavy energy. And it shows that like from this moment to 3 weeks ago, nothing's changed in my physical. Like, yeah, I've decorated a little bit more, like, of course, things do change. But what really changed to allow me to energetically feel the energy, the frequency of my dream life, to fully be sitting in here and living it, is all energy. It's all mindset. It's all perspective shifts. It's like remembering to bring ourselves back into the day-to-day presence. I think that speaking to all of you big dreamers, I know that you can relate, where it can be hard to settle into the day-to-day. It's hard to feel safe slowing down and being present and being calm and like making time to be on your yoga mat in the morning. I know for me, like, my safety mechanism is just like go, 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 go. Like, when I'm feeling lit up and I'm feeling inspired, like, I don't want to fucking sit on my yoga mat. I don't want to mindfully drink my tea. I want to get right to my computer, right to work, right to my projects. And that feels safe to my body, because it feels like I'm like moving forward, right? Like, there's this weird like unsafety feeling when we allow ourselves to relax and to slow down. And so I think that the biggest shift that we can create for ourselves this year is to find safety in the slowness and to find safety in the present moment. My favorite trick with that is when I'm catching myself getting too caught up in the roller coaster of life and too quick and too fast and too just like steamrolling through reality. I love to like cook for myself. I love to go to the grocery store, go slowly, really pick things that I'm excited about and spend some time cooking a slow meal. I did that a couple days ago and I was just like, oh my God, it's such a beautiful, I don't know, just a beautiful romantic gesture that you can make for yourself. And if you're not into cooking, whatever else that might look like for you, it could look like, taking a bath, reading a book, going on a slow walk, taking the long way home through the scenic way. Because the more I think about it, the more I realize that, like, yes, we are here to build our dream life. And there's so many external factors that will make up our dream life, our career, our devotions, our house, our cars, our living situations, right? But all of those factors, that ends up just being the baseline for reality, right? Like, look at where you were 5 years ago. Like, if you could look at yourself right now from 5 years ago, you'd be like, damn, girl, like, good shit. But this is now your baseline. All those things don't matter as much as your relationship to you in the day-to-day, your relationship to your presence, to your devotion, to your rituals, to your practices, to your interests, to your health, to your vitality, to your well-being, to your self-love, to your compassion, to your slowness, to your presence. And when we're able to slow time down by being present with ourselves, by genuinely sipping our tea, by smelling the steam that comes up from our tea before our brain is on a million other things going forward, when we're able to really sink into that, we create that fertile ground for us to really pour into the creative projects that are just going to continue to keep up leveling us into the future. And it's such a paradox, because it's like suddenly when you slow down and you witness all of the magic that's in front of you all the fucking time, suddenly you stop needing that future reality as much. You stop feeling this desperate need to get to there, because here is so good and so delicious that you're like, okay, like, this is nice. Like, I can ride this for a little bit. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so content right now. I'm so in the juiciness of the now that next part doesn't feel that urgent anymore. And when that urgency subsides and that slowness can reemerge and that curiosity can emerge, suddenly you're in flow. And when you're in flow, you move faster and you have more breakthroughs and you have more creations and you have more explosions of art and magic than hustling and pushing and forcing will ever get you. You enter a flow state and suddenly the right idea comes in, the right person comes in, the right breakthrough comes in, everything begins to click together in this magical soup of energy in the universe. And you start gliding, you start going, you start moving, you start pushing through, flowing down a river in a way that just feels like you're floating. Now, I think that it can take work to get to that point. I look at the reason I feel like I was so excited to share with you guys my story of this last year was because there was a lot of this time last year where I felt like I was just flopping. Like when I realized that the clothing line was going to look a lot different than I was initially envisioning it to, like I thought at this time I was going to have a full clothing line. Like I was going to have an entire store of clothes and products, and that's not the case. But what it's now meant to be is coming so soon. And I think that it takes a second to work through all of that inner gunk that's holding us back in order to get to the point where you can start to flow downstream. You know, for me, like I like thinking of it as an analogy of like I had to get through the gunk in that river, that muddy, branchy, like there's a storm that went through, and now there's like a tree in the middle of the river, and like I need to figure out how to get that out of the way. It was like it took so much working through the inner gunk that was just clogging my subconscious and clogging my creative expression and my funnel of magic and life force energy. It took a lot of time of like having to sit with myself and be real with myself and be a witness to myself and be present and compassionate and really dig into what I was scared of, like what those fears really were, what my insecurities really were, what my limiting beliefs about myself were, about what's possible for me were, about my abilities in this life were. I took a lot of digging through the depths of that in order for me to make it to the other side, where suddenly the sun came out and the gunk had moved away and I could start to flow downstream. You know, it's like another analogy, which I think is such a good thing to use. Our brains work in symbols, and I think analogies can really give us a better idea of like how this more nuanced things work. But it's like when you clean your room, for example, like you can't just shove everything under your bed and under the carpet and call it clean, because that's not actually clean. Energetically, your room is still a fucking mess. If you needed to find your notebook or your birth certificate, which, oh my God, by the way, I actually do not know where my birth certificate is. Sorry, that's such an ADHD thing to say. But the point is that like it might look clean on the outside, but it's fucking shit. There's shit everywhere. And your life is going to be a chaotic mess if you don't actually take everything out of the cupboards, everything under the bed, and look at it. You have to look at it in order to put it back to where it's supposed to be. You can't just shove it under and expect everything to be okay, because that's not the case. And so I think whenever I talk about how it gets to be easy, it gets to be good, it gets to flow, that's fucking real. Trust me, believe me, please, just take my word for it and test it. Take my word for it now to get you on the journey of testing it. But know that it does get to, when you fall into the right alignment, when you do the work of uncovering and excavating the junk that's holding you back, that's fucking the magnet up, then you fall into flow, and it becomes to feel easy and flow and effortless, and it feels like you're just dancing with the universe, and you're creating and you're moving, and you're taking one step this way and the universe takes another, and then you take this step and the universe takes another. It's like this beautiful unfolding and co-creation process. And it gets to be flow, it gets to be easy, it gets to be fun, it gets to be light. But it also takes that grit and that difficulty of looking at the hard things, looking at the hard stuff, having difficult conversations with yourself and people around you, making difficult decisions. You know, it's like I had to make some of the biggest, most difficult decisions of my life last year, and it wasn't easy, and it wasn't easy breezy, light, fun, effortless flow. It was hard, and it was painful, and I got through it. And now I'm on the other side, and I cannot tell you the energetic shift that comes from that, you know? And I don't want you to also either think that it needs to be like hell to get to the other side either. It's like everyone's on their own journey, and it's just about being real with yourself and like actually looking at what's below the surface. But remember, the moral of the story is to enjoy the fucking journey, bitch. Enjoy the journey. The blessing that is this life. It's just so easy to get lost in the sauce. Like, I got lost in the meadow this last year. I lost it. I really truly lost the meadow for a minute. And it's this beautiful, never-ending journey of continuously bringing yourself back and back and back and back into the flow of life, to allow yourself to magnetize what is meant for you, what you desire, what you deserve, because you are worthy of all of it. You are worthy of all of your fucking desires. No ifs, ands, or buts. You deserve to be in flow. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel happy. Life gets to feel good. You don't have to suffer to get to where you want to go. Now, the journey of healing is going to feel difficult sometimes, but that's not going to be forever. It's going to be a part of the journey. There's always going to be parts of it that you're going to have to grow through and learn through, but truly, at the end of the day, you deserve to feel good. You deserve to be in flow and to pour yourself into your creations and to feel on fire with your art and your projects. You're supposed to be in alignment and live a life that you're obsessed with. And as long as you go down this journey, and as long as you just keep moving forward and you have that North Star, and then you have that vision for the life that you want to live, you're gonna get there. You're gonna fucking get there. And even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it feels like the hardest and it feels like the path is so far away and it's so muddy and it's so dark and you can't see the way forward, you can barely see the first step in front of you, trust that that path is laid out for you. It's there. It is there waiting for you to step foot on it. And every time that you tune into your intuition and you let your heart guide you, you let the universe guide you, and you take action, you put one step forward, and then the next, and then the next, and you get out of your own fucking head, and you trust the vision, you let go of the perfectionism, and you keep moving forward. I promise you, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. You just have to believe in it. You gotta believe it, and you gotta move forward. You gotta get out of your own mind and take action fearlessly. And that's, it's a trick question type statement, because there's never going to be no fear. I'm telling you that. What you do have to focus on is feeling the fear and doing it anyways. Feeling the fear of the world seeing your work, the world seeing you, the fear of vulnerability, the fear of failure, all the fear that rises, you got to do it anyways. You got to feel the fear and do it anyways. And it's a muscle that the more you work out, the more you practice, the easier it gets. And then you get to the next level and the next cliff you have to jump off of, and it's going to feel just as scary. And every time that you do it, each time that you jump off that cliff, it's like your entire world expands. You start moving upwards in the spiral of expansion, right? When I talk about my course and Unlock Your Dream Reality, the true purpose of Unlock Your Dream Reality has always been to be a resource that you come back to again and again and again and again. How I came back to it this time for this launch, I went back through the teachings, I went back through the modules. I literally was looking at myself like my own teacher, remembering the wisdom and remembering the truth of how we move forward and how we get out of our own little minds and take action. And you change. The course stays the same. And I'm just so grateful to always have free offerings for you guys. This podcast is never going to change. I'm never going to start charging for the information that I teach here. So if you're not ready to really dive into the course, like, just hang out here with me, you guys. Like, we'll just keep growing and walking down the path together. And if you are ready for this journey, if you are ready for this course, then you can enroll today. And I promise you, it's going to be a really transformative journey. And, yeah, I believe in it with all my heart. and I'm just so grateful to be on this path with you guys and to be learning with you guys, to be growing with you guys, to go through my own journey and to get back to this podcast to give you guys all of the lessons and the learnings and the trials and tribulations and the wins and the manifestations. I just feel so lucky that I trusted myself and I went on this path, and I really pushed past and against my limiting beliefs and my limiting identities and the person that I thought that I was to the person that I now know that I am and that I can be, just knowing how much I am able to step into my potential even in the days it doesn't feel like it. And I want the same for all of you guys. But yeah, last thing I'll really end this on is that the dream boarding, the visualizing, the manifesting is all fun and games, but it doesn't mean shit if your dream board photos never leave your dream board. So it's time to take some fucking action, baby. Today, when you finish this podcast, I want you to reinvigorate your energy for what you want to create. I want you to pull out your notes again, your project, whatever you're sitting on, whatever you're ignoring, whatever you have stopped focusing on for the last couple of months. I know that the holidays is crazy and chaos, and it's so easy to let things slip away. Whatever that is for you, I want you to take one action today in pursuit of and towards that dream. Whether that is enrolling in the course, launching your website, posting on your Instagram, reaching out to that person, sending an email, whatever it is, I want you guys to take one little bit of action that's going to move you towards the life that you want to live, baby. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I am just so grateful for this space and for you guys. You have no idea how much I appreciate every single one of you guys, like truly to the core of my being. So much love for every single one of you guys. Anybody who has reached out to me on Instagram and who's connected with me on there, I hold such a special place for you guys in my heart. If you have not yet, please do. I love to put a face to the name, to, you know, the number on Spotify, because we don't get any metrics really. We just get numbers and like cities or like male and female. So if you have not yet, please reach out to me on there and connect. Another thing I forgot to mention is that the first 10 people who enroll in the early bird pricing in the next 2 weeks, the first 10 people who do are going to receive a personalized Meadow notebook from me. So if that might be something you're excited about, definitely make sure that you don't miss that mark, because it'll be only for the first 10 people, and then after that there will not be a bonus present there. So if you want to receive a little personalized Meadow notebook from me, make sure to be one of the first 10 who enrolls in Unlock Your Dream Reality in the early bird pricing, and I'm going to include a couple little more presents in there as well. So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for just being here with me. Yeah, it means the world. I also would love to hear from you guys what you're more excited about from the season of the podcast, like what you guys would like to see from me. Yeah, if you're more interested in story times, I feel like I have a really crazy family story that I'd love to share more about, and if you're interested in that, let me know. If you want to hear more about specific subjects and ideas, books, book club ideas, whatever it is, I would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I love you so much. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for supporting me. I love you. I love you. I love you. And Unlock Your Dream Reality is open for enrollment, baby. Let's go. Love you so much. Mwah. Talk to you later. Bye. I'm like that friend that can literally just never say goodbye. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Bye.